Very happy to welcome Mr. D.S. Prashant of CIBA today with us at the studios. Mr. D.S. Prashant is the General Manager of CIBA, and very soon he will tell you what CIBA is all about. Basically, what we want to achieve in this particular segment of our program is to encourage our young people to think business. Employment opportunities India-wide are decreasing day by day because of our rising population. And therefore, if we start thinking business, we will employ people rather than think of employment ourselves. Mr. Prashant, thank you once again for coming. May I start straight away with a basic question. What is this CIBA all about?
CIBA stands for Center for Incubation and Business Acceleration. So if you look at the name itself, there are two parts to it. One is the Center for Incubation, and the second part is Business Acceleration. So when somebody has a very innovative idea which is not tested in the market, which basically could be like solving the problems of the world, and you don't know whether this will run or not, then they will come to the center, they'll spend some time with us, they will go through a lot of modules which we have, which will help them to understand whether this business will run or not, and then they go into the market and start their business. So that is known as the business incubation process. Now the second part is where somebody has an idea about starting a business, he is trained and skilled in a particular trade, and he says, this is a business which I want to do, so you tell me what is the process and how do I do it. So the traditional businesses are taken care in the business acceleration process. So broadly, if you ask me what is the difference between a startup and a traditional business, among the many aspects, one striking feature is that an incubation process or a startup is something where the business is not validated, which is not proven, but which could be life-changing. Whereas a traditional business is something which is already proven, many people have done it before, and you also want to do it in a new format or a new form.
See, listen, Mr. Prashant, I'll be very, very clear about this because some of our viewers don't quite understand the difference, though you have explained it quite well. Can you please give an example of what is this incubation and what is this acceleration? Give me an example of each.
Most of you may be buying products today from Flipkart. So Flipkart has been a process of a startup. So it has followed what Amazon had done in the West, and then they have built up a business process here, which we will call a startup, which is very new, which they have tried it out themselves, and which have scaled up and has become very successful. Same case with something like Ola, something like Uber, something like Oyo Rooms, and so on. So these are called startups which are very innovative in nature. Then in the same case, if you look at it, traditional businesses, in the case of Flipkart, we have our malls, we have our Kirana stores, which are traditional businesses which have been running for years together. If you look at the Oyo Rooms comparison, we have had our hotels and our guest house and things which are running. So if you are planning to set up a guest house and a hotel or maybe a place to rent out, it becomes a very traditional business. Whereas if you start something, a process like Oyo Rooms or something very technologically oriented, then it becomes a startup.
Right, okay. Now, I come to you and I say, I've got this idea. Do you charge me any fees for that?
The kind of support which is offered to the people are manifold. So we do have programs which are half-day programs. So we call them entrepreneurship awareness camps. So what happens in this entrepreneurship awareness camp is we have a brief introduction to the concept of entrepreneurship, the process of setting up your business, and what are the support available. Whereas we also run programs which are deep driven, which run to an extent of 6 weeks, where we teach every aspect of entrepreneurship. Most of the programs are hugely subsidized. The cost is almost zero. Our experience has been that whatever is offered free of cost, people don't appreciate it very well. So nowadays we charge a very, very nominal fee for participation, which is more like a token so that the person gets interested in the program rather than making money out of these programs.
So who's funding your efforts then?
Most of the funding comes from the government, both the central government and the state government. That is the reason why most of the programs are hugely subsidized.
Okay. Now, how long have this CIBA been running in Goa?
So I think I need to explain to you the genesis of CIBA. We started in the year 2000 with a scheme known as Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Project. The whole idea was to promote entrepreneurship in the rural areas. So we went to the rural areas and we hyped and promoted and told all the great benefits of entrepreneurship to the people. People turned back and told us, when you come here and tell us these stories, you make it so easy. But when we actually go to start a business, it's not so easy. Sometimes it takes almost 1 year just to understand that my business cannot be funded. So I've spent 1 year and nothing has happened. So we thought we need to change this. And luckily during that time came the Chief Minister's Rozgar Yojana, which has scaled up to a big extent today. We started utilizing the space and we started connecting people to the schemes. So today we have a person sitting there at EDC, which is the state financial institution from where the Chief Minister's Rozgar Yojana support is given. Maybe the people are not aware that the person who's sitting there preparing the project report, counseling them, advising them, helping them is from CIBA, but definitely we have been providing this back-end support to the people. We also have people sitting in Directorate of Industries, Trade and Commerce, where anybody who wants to avail the benefits of Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program can again avail all these facilities and support free of cost. Now, if you ask me why we kept these two people at these two government offices, anybody who wants to start a business will look for a loan or some financial support. First thing he looks at is the state financial institution. And second thing what he looks at is he needs to register. He needs to do the paperwork. So the big point or the department is the Directorate of Industries, Trade and Commerce. So most of the people who want to take the benefit have to come to this place, and this is where the facilities are available. So this started happening over a period of time. Things went on very well. A lot of people started making use of these facilities. And in the year 2010, the government said, fine, for traditional businesses, you are providing them the support. What about innovative businesses? What about businesses which can scale to a very huge extent, create a lot of employment opportunities, create a lot of value? That is the time when we decided we will set up an incubator. And in the year 2012, we set up the incubator at Verna. 2014, we have set up another incubator in Asagam. And at these both places, we have close to around 50 startup companies who have been working and closely associated with.
50 startup companies?
50 startup companies, 50.
That's a lot of companies.
That's a lot of companies. I think Goa needs a lot more. The whole world is looking at solutions from startup companies and innovative companies, and we need to have more in numbers. I think 50 may be less.
Okay. I'm now talking to the student right there who's watching this program. He doesn't understand this word incubation.
Right.
Can you go a little bit in depth and tell us what is this incubation all about? What is incubation?
Right. So let me use an analogy. Setting up an innovative business is like climbing Mount Everest. Many of you may think if you are young and if you are strong enough, you can just climb Mount Everest just like that. But if you try that, sometimes it will just take away your life. You may not get a second opportunity to climb Mount Everest. But when you are thinking about setting up your own business, which is an innovative business, you also get an opportunity to climb that Mount Everest. And just like how you are getting trained to climb Mount Everest, you also go through something known as an incubation process, whereby you are told what are the challenges of setting up your businesses, how do you take care. There are various tools and models which are used as equipments to help you to climb that Everest. So if you put everything together in one bundle, we call that as incubation. And in the incubation space, what happens is, the person who comes with an idea will get an office space to work with. He will get opportunities to interact with mentors. Mentors are people who are experienced, who have walked this before, who understands what are the pitfalls. They can talk to them. You also get to connect with technology experts, people who know more in-depth, who have more in-depth knowledge about the technologies which is being used. You also get to connect with people who are part of the ecosystem. When I say ecosystem, people who invest, who are investors, who give money for this, people who help you in marketing. If it's an innovative product, people who can help you to get your intellectual property rights done. Lawyers who will advise you how to set up your companies. People from the finance background who will tell you how you have to maintain your money and other things. So every stakeholder who is required to help you to run the company is provided to you on a platter. So that normally happens in an incubation center. So you don't have to run about doing all these peripheral things which are important for you to run your business. You can focus on your core business aspect, and you can allow all the other stakeholders and helpers to come to you and help you in setting.
You know, one of the questions one youngster asked me a few months back is that if I go to CIBA and I tell them my idea, and it is really a very good idea, don't you think they will just rob my idea and pretend they're helping me, but in fact they've already done something about it?
It's a very common question,
and
it's an excellent question to ask. If you're looking at if you're looking to become an entrepreneur, the first thing you should do is you should be open to share your ideas with others. You may have an idea, and at different locations, many people may be thinking about the same idea. Ideas are plenty; they're just sitting there. Damn it, that's it. Unless you make use of these ideas and implement these ideas, it's not going to help anybody. Forget about you. It's not going to help anybody. So unless you talk to people and take advice from them and convert that idea into something which could be implemented, then only there is an outcome of that idea. Now, at the same time, you need to take precautions. So some of the basic precautions could be like you could sign an NDA with the people whom you are talking to. You can get your idea patented before you talk to anybody else. So CIBA basically provides you all those things. And CIBA is an entity which is promoted by the government, supported by the government. So you cannot play with ideas of people. So we are sitting there to help people, and we have a credible history of doing that. It's not that we have stolen somebody's idea and given it to anybody else. And all the people who have come there are our ambassadors and are our witnesses, and they have seen what kind of support is being provided to them.
Excellent. Okay, Mr. Prashant, one more area that I need a little bit of advice upon from you is that, you see, there is this platform of what you call incubation. Is there a kind of a time limit to this thing? I mean, how long does it take to incubate?
Yes. So what we have done is we have kept a time frame of 1 year, maximum 1.5 years. The idea is very simple. We just try to pressurize and push the person to reach to his goals very quickly. So when somebody has an idea that this is my process, this is my journey. So the journey starts from the day he comes with the idea, and the journey with us ends the day he knows this is what I want to do, and he has a very clear idea that this is his business model. So between that journey, we compel and make sure that he rushes through the whole process without wasting much time within a period of 12 months. We have had people who have stayed with us and scaled up within a period of 6 months. We also have had people who have stayed with us for 3 years before they finally moved out of the incubation. But on an average, if you ask me, 12 months to 18 months is what we look at as an incubation period.
Right. Now, you said that you started in 2000. We are now in 2017, almost embarking on 2018. Surely you must have had some success stories. Can you tell us some few stories that you are proud of as being the incubator?
There are a lot of exciting stories coming out of CIBA. I would like to highlight some of the innovative startups who have come out of CIBA. We have 6 innovative companies out of CIBA have won international awards.
Wow. Wow.
One of the first one was Armada, which is a spice liquor company promoted by Oscar Nazareth. He won the the gold medal at the International Spirits Contest, and he beat Johnny Walker's limited edition, by the way.
Okay, wow, very good.
We had another company called Transfer Technologies, which have won the Lockheed Martin award. So like that, there have been a lot of awards which have been won. Last year's Chief Minister's Startup Challenge was won by one incubating company based out of CIBA called Brushflix. They actually convert waste acrylic material into such lovely gift boxes, which also has a technology, there's IoT component attached to it. This year's Goa Management Association Award was won by a company which came out of CIBA called Counterfeit IQ. They empower you to check whether an item is an original item or a fake item. Today you have to trust the dealer or the seller. So these are some of the companies which have come out. For example, like Transfer Technologies, they are doing wonderfully well. Their turnover has been 5 crores last year, and they were with us close to 2.5 to 3 years. So these are the kind of success stories which have come out from CIBA, which are from the innovative sectors. There have been a lot of other companies which are traditional companies. There is a cashew factory based out of Sankeli whose turnover is 1 crore of rupees today, which was supported by CIBA. So close to 5,000 enterprises have been supported to be established in Goa over a period of 15 years. And as I said, close to 50 startup companies we are working with.
Now, these startups that have been very successful, have you had any lady startup person who has done well?
Interestingly, there are a number of startups which are women-oriented or promoted by lady founders, women founders. Brushflix is a big example. Farin Syed has won the Chief Minister's Startup Challenge. She is there. And then we have, right now we are working with around 6 women-founded startup companies at CIBA presently.
Tell us about this young lady, Farid, you talked about.
Farin Syed passed out from the Padri Consom College of Engineering 3 years back, a first-class student, and she said, I'm not going to take up a job. I want to get into entrepreneurship, I want to start something of my own. It is very, very heartening to see young people today looking at entrepreneurship as a career option, rather than looking at entrepreneurship as the last option if they don't get to work anywhere or if they're not satisfied. And it's not an easy journey. You should actually look into this journey of this lady, very enthusiastic, very dynamic, and very enterprising. And she says that to support her dream of setting up this startup, she has even sold mangoes to get this project funded. So that is the kind of enthusiasm.
So tell us, what did she do? What did she do? Why are you so enthusiastic about this particular young lady?
I am enthusiastic about her because you need to understand that when we look at an enterprise or entrepreneurship, we invest in the person. We don't invest in ideas. If somebody comes and say, I have this idea could be a very innovative idea, but unless that idea is converted into something which is tangible, it doesn't become an enterprise or it doesn't become a company. So when we see a person who has these entrepreneurial qualities in them, there are a number of entrepreneurial qualities which are required to convert any idea into a business aspect. It is like, finding a diamond, finding a gem. You need to polish that gem so that you can, have value. So these are the people who are coming into the limelight, and just because of her entrepreneurial qualities, I am very much optimistic. She'll find a way out to become a successful entrepreneur. That is what we are betting at CIBA.
So what was her thing that she started?
She started off initially with a project which used to connect all the artists on a platform. So basically she had a website where anybody, any artist or a creative person could come and log on and say, okay, fine. Say for example, a photographer, maybe he has work today, tomorrow he doesn't have a work. Or maybe an actor, he has some work maybe over a period of time and after that he doesn't have. So they could just come and say, okay, I'm available, this is my profile, this is where I have worked. And if you want to pick me up or if you want to give some work to me, I am available for you. And slowly she started saying that a lot of creative people are making very, very innovative products. So one of this product which she spoke about are these boxes. A lot of crafty people or artistic people making these boxes. They said, why don't we try to create a solution? We get these people who are excellent craftsmen, who know how to make these boxes. We get the waste, that's acrylic waste, which will last for 3,000 to 5,000 years in this world, and make boxes which are utility products. And that's how she connected, and today she has made that. And I don't want to spell out her business plans, but it looks very, very exciting, and it has huge prospects.
Okay. Now, one more time, let's go back a little bit. You said there are two schemes. One is the Chief Minister's Rozgar Yojana, and there is the Prime Minister's similar one. What is the kind of loan facilities you get under the Prime Minister's one and under the Chief Minister's one?
Right. So I would like to elaborate about the funding process here. So as I told you, we started off by connecting people who wanted to set up traditional businesses to the various schemes which were running from a very long time. So there are a number of schemes, in fact. So I'm just highlighting two schemes. One is of the state government and one is of the central government. Besides that, there are a number of schemes which an entrepreneur can avail. Chief Minister's Rozgar Yojana is promoted through the state financial institution. Today they give a loan up to 20 lakhs to set up a business, and these loans are very cheap. Cheap in the sense the actual rate of interest is 3% per annum, and you have subsidy which goes along with this. And then the time given to you to repay this money is 10 years. So you know the value of money, it goes on diminishing, and the loan becomes very cheap. But more importantly, if your intentions are good and if you fulfill the criteria, there is 100% assurance that you can get the loan, which was not possible before the schemes came into existence. But today, if you say that if you are genuinely interested to set up a business, it is much more easier for you to get a loan under the schemes. And there are a lot of people who are helping you. CIBA will guide you through the whole process of setting it up. And one of our staff is sitting at EDC. You can go there, talk to him. His name is Prasad, and he will guide you through the whole process. That is as far as Chief Minister's Rozgar Yojana is concerned. There's another scheme known as Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program. In this scheme, the focus is on creating employment. After every 1 lakh of rupees given as a loan on fixed assets, you have to generate employment for 1%. You can take a loan of maximum 25 lakhs for manufacturing. The subsidy is up to the extent of 35%, that is more than 1/3 of the loan component. So these are the benefits which are offered to the people who want to set up their own business. And people can very well come and take detailed information about the same. Besides this, CIBA also provides seed funding. That is some kind of equity-based money given for innovative ideas which will not easily get funded by banks. Banks will normally fund projects which are viable, which are time-tested, which have existed, but certain ideas which are more of ideas and you are not sure, and the chances of failures are also very high, normally you won't get funding from the banks. But CIBA does have some money which is given by the central government, which we normally give to very innovative startup companies. It could extend up to a maximum of 25 lakhs at present.
25 lakhs?
At present.
So how many people have you given that kind of money to?
On an average, we give about 15 lakhs, but a few people we have given 25 lakhs. We have funded 10 companies, 10 startup companies in the last 2 years.
Okay, let us come to our own social media of Goa. Do you think a normal Goan student has to learn something in terms of why business is better than employment, or what do you think is the Goan student profile like?
I understand that the culture of a place plays a major role in influencing the aspirations of large population in the society. So that also means that if we play the role very well, and if we create a culture of entrepreneurship, a large number of a large population can get interested in entrepreneurship. But we also need to understand that entrepreneurship is not everybody's cup of tea. Just going and pushing somebody into entrepreneurship is not a solution. We need to build a culture. We need to create an enabling ecosystem and environment where somebody who has those qualities in him will naturally flourish. So what I'm trying to say is that we as the stakeholders, which includes the government, the industry, the media, and academia, have to come together and create an ecosystem where entrepreneurship can flourish. And I'm very happy to share that this is happening. I'm actually working very closely with all the 4 pillars. That's why I can understand what's actually happening at the 4 levels. And I'm seeing a lot of people putting in a lot of personal efforts to make sure that the startup ecosystem, entrepreneurial ecosystem is working. The government has come up with the schemes. Government has come up with the policies to promote entrepreneurship. Industry is promoting entrepreneurship in a big way, like working very closely with the chambers, and they have this program whereby the final year students project is being pushed and promoted to become possible enterprises. Working very closely with the media, particularly like Mr. Vikant from Herald is pushing entrepreneurship in a big way. Like every week they have a column to promote, they have a Q&A for startups and entrepreneurship. And the academia basically is coming into the forefront now also to support and promote entrepreneurship as a career and giving a lot of impetus about focusing on innovation.
That is very generic. That is very generic. Specifically, what does academia do?
Yes. So just this year, we had an interaction with academia and the chambers where academia came forward with all the final year projects and connected them to the industry. And what the academia is saying and what the industry is saying are the simple things. Why don't we convert the final year projects of students into possible business ventures? So we are seeing a concrete effort from both the sides where they are working together. We always said that industry and academia are looking at opposite directions. They are never coming close. And there is no way for them to come closer. I think these are the ways of them coming closer, where they work on certain projects and products which will help both the ecosystems, both the players.
You know, I tend to disagree with you here because you're talking here about the final year student. What about the students who are in the 10th standard and they are now embarking on, what should I go into science, arts, commerce, what should I do? And he's totally confused. He's not even thinking business or entrepreneurship. At that point in time, 10th standard point in time, there has to be some infusion of thinking that yes, if you do this, you might want to do that. If you do this, you might want to do that, etc., etc. But that is not happening. I don't see it happening. Do you see it?
Yes, I think I missed to tell you about what's happening with the young students. We at CIBA have something which is known as a Think Lab. What is happening in this Think Lab is we get students at a very early stage who are in the 8th standard, 9th standard and 10th standard to come and spend time with us in our labs. The idea is not to create scientists, but the idea is to give an experience and overview of what are the most modern technologies, what are the options available for people to tinker with. And we try to identify who are the children who are more inquisitive, who ask the most number of questions, and support these children who ask most number of questions in a particular direction. We also try to give them an overview of what are the possibilities which they can go through at a very early stage. So we are working very closely with the schools. The government has come out with something known as tinkering labs now with projects which are given to the schools where they can interact and identify what they could work on. Many things are happening, but we also need to do a lot of things. And we also need to spread the news about the good things happening. Because most of the time, it is criminal that there is something which is wonderfully there, and on the other side, somebody who needs it is not aware of that, is not able to connect to that. So I think platforms like this will be a great opportunity to take these wonderful objectives and wonderful facilities to the right kind of people.
Yeah, because just the other day I saw a very nice TV serial showing a 12-year-old boy coming out with this fantastic idea, and today he is offered a job in one of the top US companies.
Absolutely.
Have you got a similar example?
We had an example which did not succeed but did wonderfully well. In fact, I want to highlight that a 10th standard student of Sharada Mandir, I missed out his first name, but his last name is Shetty. He was an incubator at a company, and he was one of the first he had one of the first crowdfunding platform. Crowdfunding platform is a platform where somebody will build a product and will showcase before manufacturing it in mass and tell, this is my product. If you are interested, you pay in advance and I will ship it to you once it's manufactured. Or the other way is that this is my product and I need support from all of you. You can contribute whatever you want to build this product so that it becomes available in the market. So he had this product and he was just a 10th standard student then. Then he scaled up, but he couldn't succeed because of various reasons. The risk is also very high. But we do have examples like that right here in Goa.
I'm very pleased to hear that you are actually talking to students at 8th, 9th, 10th standard levels. How many students do you manage to cover? Because I don't think you have that kind of resource where you can cover all the schools in Goa.
Right. So last year we connected with 200 schools and we invited
200 schools?
200 schools across Goa, and we invited their faculties to spend some time with us.
Oh, that's incredible.
And we did this program with some corporate companies who were involved, and they helped us to put this up. Right now we have one of our startups, he is based at Asagam. He's promoted an educational tool. He's organizing training camps for school students. Okay. So just last week we had 5 schools from APSA and neighboring areas coming and spending a day with him, and he was telling them what are the facilities available. So a lot of things are happening at the back end, but the visibility is not there. But I think over a period of time, and CIBA has also been shy about promoting itself, about the visibility. A lot of things are happening at the back end, which is only the outcomes are seen, but the actual work is not being seen.
Well, I must compliment you, Mr. Prashant, for doing such a wonderful job in our society. And I really sincerely hope that Goa comes up with young people who can solve the employment problem in our state, because the employment situation is getting bad to us day by day. And unless something happens in terms of entrepreneurship, it is only going to lead to exodus of people looking for jobs in other states of India, people looking for jobs outside our country, and those kind of things, which is not something that is very, very kind to say about our state. So if you can continue doing what you are doing and reach out to more schools, I'll be very, very happy, and I compliment you for doing what you have done in the last 17 years.
Thank you.
Very well done.
And getting connected with us is very simple. We have 2 offices. One is at Verna and one is at Asagam. You can just walk in and tell us what you want to do, or tell us your interest. And whenever we find something which is interesting you and exciting you, we will definitely keep you posted about that and keep you informed. If you don't want to walk into our offices, you can just check into our website. Most of our activities, initiatives, programs are up on the website. You can log on, you can participate. We are active on the social media, and we also have our sub offices in EDC and in DITC. You can come and meet with them. And we are friendly people. We want to chat with all of you.
I can see that.
We want to chat with all of you. Yeah. And if there is a way we can be of use to you, you should make use of that.
Wonderful. So there you have it, young people. If you have an idea and you think that you need to examine it further and get some little help, Mr. Prashant is always there for you at Verna, at the Padagnel Institute of Education. There's another college here, right, in the engineering college in Asagaon, in Mapsa, which is also having a CIBA outlet. And as Mr. Prashant said, the EDC in Panjim has got their own person there to guide you, help you. So take advantage of this thing if you have an idea. Maybe tomorrow you will be the next Bill Gates. All the very best. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.